All right, so in this, I'm finally going to show you basically how I usually do my weight painting. You can do it all the way I just showed you, where you just keep trying to add weights. I find that a little bit difficult to work with. So what we're going to do is a different way. Okay, so now if you remember, when the arm comes up, see how it's kind of tearing right here? Instead of trying to paint weights to this, what I can do is there is a way to remove the weights. So this is how you do it. We're going to go to, okay, I'm going to right click and go to vertex. And I'm going to click and drag over all the areas that I want to remove. Okay, so I don't want it to affect any of these. All right. Good. All right, so all of that shouldn't be affected. And it doesn't matter if I click down here too, because this arm obviously clearly wouldn't affect any of this. So then what you're going to do is you're going to go to Windows, General Editors, Component Editor. All right, and then I go in my Smooth Skins tab. Now, the influence I want to remove, if we were to look at this is hard because it's basically this joint here, right? So that's my first arm joint. All right. So this is why it's important that you name your stuff, guys, because otherwise you don't know which one it is. So I can clearly tell you that any one of these arm joints, the clavicle should be affecting it because that's this here, but any one of these arm joints should not be affecting this area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this top left one here. Okay, so that's arm joint. You can see arm joint goes all the way to 3 here. I don't want any of those affected. So I'm going to go all the way. I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to grab the thing, scroll all the way down to get to the very bottom. And then I'm going to go right here. I'm going to hold shift and click. So all of this is highlighted. I'm going to type in 0 and hit enter. And what you're going to notice, it actually disappears because basically what's happening is if you go to options, it'll say hide 0 columns. So columns that don't have any values, meaning that they aren't having influence on those vertices, are actually removed. Okay. Good. So now if you were to look, you can see that these totally do not move with this anymore. Okay. So I'm actually going to take these ones as well. So I'm going to grab all the way around there, and I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to, you can see there aren't that many affecting it. So I'm going to just take these arm ones and zero those out. Okay. All right. Beautiful. So now that's not being affected. Now, if you look, the results are, oops, forgot this one too. I wonder if I hit G if it, no, it will not. Okay. So I'm going to remove this one as well. Okay, good. So now what you're going to notice is that that's kind of harsh, right? If I look at that motion, that's really rigid. Ooh, I must have missed this one as well. So I'll take that one, zero that out. That's a pretty rigid, I want it to be bending, just not like as crazy as it was. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go back to the Paint Skin Weights tool here, and I am going to actually go to my arm. I'm going to find the arm here, so I'll scroll down until I get to the arm here. And you can see it goes from like white to nothing. So I'm going to go ahead and use my smooth, and I am going to hit B to make the brush a little bit bigger. And then I'm going to go ahead and just add some smooth to this around the outside. Okay? Around the outside, around the outside. All right, like that. All right, and that just softens the transition a bit. Okay? Now the important thing is don't try and smooth into the areas that are lighter. Try to go into the areas that are darker, because that's adding stuff. You don't want to like go in here because that'll actually remove the influence, because they'll try to smooth it out the other way. Now I'm actually going to go also to, okay, good. I'm going to go to my clavicle here and try and maybe smooth. Oof. Oh, see, you can't undo. I probably should have mentioned that too. Try to smooth some of this out here as well, because you see how it's not having all that much effect. And then I'm going to go to, let's go back to the spine again and make sure, okay. We'll try to add some influence. Ugh. Ugh, see, I can't undo it. So you can see that actually made it a little bit worse. So what I'm going to do is actually going to add some more influence back to my spine here. So I'm going to go back to the spine, this one, and I'm going to go to add, and I'm going to just add little increments of 0.1, okay? And then make sure I'm on that, and then watch. So I'm going to hold B, click, I'm going to make it really small. Make it just big enough to grab this one vert, and then when I click on it, you'll see it adds influence, which pulls this back because this one's the one that's pulling it up. So I was kind of clicking on it a couple times. Like that. I'm just kind of clicking and dragging. It's on the verts, not the faces, only where the verts are. Does it really have any effect? So I'm just going to kind of click and add influence in here to make sure, you know, that that's indeed helping with that. Okay. Like that. All right, we'll kind of add a little in there. This one clearly needs more. This one needs a lot more. All right. All right. And that helps. It's going to be impossible to make it perfect, but that's one thing. Okay, so now let me show you how this gets a little bit better. So I'm actually going to take this here. I'm gonna exit out of this for a second. I'm going to select, I got joints off right now. So I'm going to select this joint, and I'm going to get rid of the keys here. So I'm going to hold shift, click, and drag to the left, right click, delete. So the keys are now off of that. Okay. So that's good. But I'm going to show you how to do the mouth. All right. So the jaw is actually probably one of the more tricky things. But if you see areas, try to do what you can to try and fix it. Maybe at some point I'll make it sure that like goes through the whole body and do it manually. But for now, we're just going to do it this way. So to do the jaw, right now, if I were to grab this, what you're going to see is that it's going to make the whole mouth go like this, right? It looks like an ape. And same thing with the eyes. The eyes are also affecting it, right? Which I don't actually want those to affect them. They're actually just there as holders for the eyeballs. Really, the only thing that should be moving the head is this guy, right? Which will work because the other things are parented to it. But it's not... I don't want the jaw to affect everything. It's only got to affect this part. But if you look at where it is, obviously it's going to affect this area in here. That just makes sense. So it's doing what it's supposed to, but in this case, it's not what I want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off joint selection again. And I am going to go to vertex. And I'm going to click and drag across to get the entire head. Okay. I'm going to switch to an orthographic view here. And click and drag. I'm holding Control and Shift, so it only adds. And I'm going to grab everything up to the neck. All right, so you can see I didn't grab, oops, back to verts. I didn't grab like the neck part here. All right, so all this should be roughly 100% to the head. Okay, you know what? Actually, I'm going to take this off because I don't think this. I'm holding Control now and click and dragging. I don't know that this should be affected by that, so I'm actually going to take this back off. Feels like it's a little more. Oh, really? You won't come off, huh? Let me make sure I got the other side too. Good. Okay. So all this I'm going to make 100% to the head. I'm just going to do that up here. So I'm going to go to Windows, General Editors, Component Editor. And you can see there's all these things affecting it, like the eye, the head, the joint. I only want head once. I'm going to click on the top here. I'm going to, oops. Okay, I'm going to click on the top. I'm going to click on this little part here. Pull it all the way down. Make sure I'm in the head one, hit 1. You can see everything else disappears the head because now the head has 100% of the value. All right. So now if I were to go and try and move this joint, move this joint, you'll see it has no effect, and neither do the eyeballs. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna paint onto the effect of the jaw. All right. So I'm gonna do this as fast as possible. So I'm gonna animate the jaw first. So I'm gonna key it here, and then I'll go to like I said, it doesn't really matter where. I'm gonna pull this down. Oops. It's like the affecting a little bit down there, but we can figure that out later. Okay, so it goes down like that. So that's good, right? So I'm gonna make sure that the jaw does not affect those as well. So I'm just gonna kind of click and drag. Still got turn this back off. Click and drag over that area and just go to Windows, General Editors, Component Editor, and make sure that both of these jaw joints have no effect. So boom. Boom, and I'm just going to 0 them out, and now the jaw has no influence on that. So when it goes down, see how it doesn't affect it. Okay, so now we're going to do the paint. Okay, so I'm going to right click, Paint Skin Waste tool, and I'm going to look for my jaw 1 joint. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hit replace, and I'm going to make my value 1. I'm going to try and just make this look like a nutcracker. Okay. So I'm just going to grab the bottom. I'm going to choose everything from the middle line. If you look at where the crease of the mouth is right here, everything from underneath that, I'm going to make this 1 value. So it makes it completely white. All right, so like this. All right. Okay. Make the thing a little bit smaller. So I'm going to go boom, 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 boom. All right, now this is going to get a little bit trickery. I'm going to go ahead and show and turn off joints so they're not in the way because I know that they're there. I don't need to. Now I'm going to pull my slider a little bit so it kind of, you can see now that that's painted to it. It moves with it, with the jaw joint, okay? I'm just going to go a couple because I don't want to go too far. It'll be hard to work with. Let me see. Oh, I need to go 1 more line. So we'll go from here. Okay. And now it's going to get tricky. All right, so I'm going to hold B, and I'm just going to make sure I only get, I'm going to go right down the line here, all the way across. boom, boom, boom. You know, these all, come on, all gotta get affected. All right. And this is trickery. All right, so boom, boom. I'm gonna go ahead and do that one too. Boom. Let's go ahead and go right in. All right, boom, 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 boom. Yeah, this is pretty fun stuff, huh? Okay. So make sure you don't accidentally click up there, because then you're gonna run into all sorts of crappiness. Then you gotta try and paint it back to the head, and that's annoying. All right. Just give you an example of what would happen. I'll just do it. So like, let's say I accidentally clicked up here and like, oh no, see how the bottom lip's now moving with it? So if I scrub, you can see, or it's moving with the bottom. All you got to do is just go back to the head joint, head 1, and then just paint 100% back on that. And now that's painted to that, and then go back to your jaw, and then you can keep working. Okay. So I'm just gonna, because it's pretty easy to accidentally do that. All right. This is one of those things that nobody likes to do. Okay, and so I'm just going to go right down the line. Make this a little bit bigger now because it's not so tight. Okay, and I guess this must be part of it. All right. And I'm going to try. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Come on. All right. Bada, bada, ba, bada, 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 ba. Okay. You gotta move here. All right. Okay. All right. So the mouth is one area where you're going to have to manually paint it like this. There's just no way around it, just because of the way the joints are laid out and the topology, and it's just it's a weird way of working, but it's a necessity. So okay, so that's got to go all the way around. Okay, I'm just trying to get the bottom jaw separated from the top so that when the bottom bends, it moves with it. It's not going to be perfect, but it should get the job done. Boom. Boom. Okay, and so that looks good. Looking at the jaw underneath here, and I'm just gonna fix this up a little bit. Okay, so to make it a little more even, and then I'm just gonna go right to where that star is. All right, so we'll say like that. So now, if you were to look at it, you'll see it goes nah, 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 right? It's just a generic down, so it looks like a nutcracker. Okay, because that's just moving 100% and nothing else. Now, the corner of my mouth here, this would move half with the head and half with this, because this is the middle line. So I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I'm still in replace. I'm going to take my value. I'm going to go 0.5. Now, this is where, and I'm going to hit B, make sure it's smaller. And I am going to add the influence. So I'm going to go boom, boom. And you're going to see it moves. Well, I'm just going to go right down and all the way around the inside like this. Okay. All right. All right. Ooh, that was close. Almost went too much. Okay. Boom, and all the way around. So this is my 50%. Now watch. You'll see that that's stretching halfway with the mouth. It's not 100% down. It's not 100% with this. It's halfway in between. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the next round, right? So I'm going to do half of this, which would be 0.25. Okay. And I'm just going to go, start from, actually I'm going to start from the lip since that's on the bottom here. 0.25, I'm going to go all the way up to like, I don't know, there. And we'll go all the way around. Like so. And all the way up. Okay. Boom. And then I would do half of that, which would be 0.125. Okay. So I'll go down the next strip here. I'm going to grab all these. Have these go up to like there. And go in. And all the way around. Like so. Okay. And then we'll just continue this video and I'll show you how to do the bottom half. Okay.